Welcome to Badasses. I'm your host, Kai Armstrong. Today on Badasses, imagine a world where your greatest weakness becomes your ultimate strength. Today, we unravel the story of a man once counted out, who turned the art of deception into a mirror reflecting the hidden truths of perception, and in doing so, discovered the power to reshape not only his own destiny, but yours. Picture this, a crowded ballroom at Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, the air thick with perfume and privilege. Secret Service agents stand guard around former President Jimmy Carter, their eyes scanning for threats. Yet none of them notice their credentials vanishing, one by one, until it's too late. The thief, a man who once couldn't tie his own shoes. You might wonder what this has to do with you, but consider how often you miss what's right in front of you simply because your attention is elsewhere. This is a story about perception, about how a master thief became something far more valuable, a teacher of awareness. Plainview, Texas, 1974. Apollo Robbins enters the world with a body that seems determined to fail him. Leg braces clank against linoleum floors. Other children run and play. He watches from the sidelines. Doctors tell his parents he may never walk normally or develop fine motor skills. But his father, a blind minister, teaches him something extraordinary. True sight comes from understanding human behavior, not just using your eyes. Young Apollo learns to read people like others read books. Every gesture, every habit, every unconscious pattern becomes a story. While other children play tag, he studies how they move, where they look, what they miss. His disability becomes his greatest teacher. His older half-brothers introduce him to petty theft, but Apollo sees something deeper than quick profits. In each successful pickpocket attempt, he discovers the architecture of attention, how people focus so intently on one thing that they become blind to everything else. Every stolen wallet teaches him not just about taking, but about human perception itself. The stakes are personal. Each successful theft proves the doctors wrong. Those hands they said would never work properly now perform miracles of dexterity. But more importantly, each success reveals another secret about how human attention works. While others perfect their techniques through repetition, Apollo approaches theft like a scientist. He discovers that curved movements capture attention more effectively than straight lines. That conversation isn't just cover for a theft, it's a tool for directing focus. That what people think they see is more important than what's actually there. You might recognize this pattern in your own life. How often have you missed something obvious because your attention was elsewhere? How many opportunities have slipped past while you focused on the wrong details? The Caesar's Palace job isn't just another performance. It's the culmination of everything Apollo has learned about human perception. Secret Service agents are trained to notice everything, to protect against every threat. But Apollo knows something they don't. The more you think you're paying attention, the more blind spots you create. If you're enjoying Badasses, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Mental Fortitude Challenge. Explode your confidence by channeling strategies from Roosevelt, Bruce Lee, and more. Now back to the episode. One by one, Apollo lifts their credentials, their keys, even access to the presidential motorcade. Not through speed or force, but through an intimate understanding of how attention flows. The agent's training becomes their weakness. They're so focused on looking for traditional threats that they miss the gentleman thief standing right before them. But this isn't a story about humiliating law enforcement. It's about revealing the gaps in human perception. The incident makes national headlines, but Apollo sees an opportunity beyond notoriety. Here's where most theft stories end with either capture or escape, but Apollo chooses a different path. He establishes WizMob Inc., a consultancy that trains the very people he once deceived. Law enforcement, military personnel, security experts, they all come to learn from the man who exposed their vulnerabilities. In conference rooms and training sessions, Apollo demonstrates how easily attention can be manipulated. But now, instead of taking wallets, he's giving something back: awareness. The curved hand movements that once concealed theft become lessons in human psychology. The techniques of misdirection transform into tools for understanding perception. Cognitive scientists begin studying Apollo's methods. His insights contribute to research papers on attention and perception. The boy who couldn't walk becomes a pioneer in understanding how the human mind processes information. His TED Talk, The Art of Misdirection, garners millions of views not because it reveals the secrets of theft, but because it exposes how vulnerable we all are to manipulation. Think about your own daily interactions. How often do you fall for social media's misdirection? How frequently do marketers direct your attention exactly where they want it to go? Some still see Apollo as just a thief who got lucky. They miss the profound transformation from taking to teaching. But their skepticism only proves his point. We often see what we expect to see, rather than what's actually there. Today, Apollo's legacy isn't in what he stole, but in what he revealed about human nature. His journey from physical limitation to mastery, from crime to education, illuminates a fundamental truth. Our perception shapes our reality, but our reality is often incomplete. Remember that woman's necklace from the opening scene? She never lost it. The gasp, the panic, the search, all carefully orchestrated to demonstrate how easily our attention can be directed. The real theft wasn't of objects, but of assumptions about what we think we know. And here's what this means for you. Every day, you're missing crucial details, opportunities, and insights simply because your attention is focused elsewhere. The world is full of blind spots, not because you can't see, but because you haven't learned how to look. Your challenge isn't to become a master thief, it's to become a master observer, to question what captures your attention and why. To recognize that sometimes the most important things are happening in your peripheral vision, just waiting to be noticed. Because in the end, the greatest illusion isn't in what can be stolen, but in what we think we're paying attention to in the first place. On the next episode of Badasses, Apollo Robbins showed us that bending perception is a superpower. But what happens when someone challenges the very rules of a game, armed with an almost obsessive dedication to understanding its underlying mechanics? This week, we continue breaking the mold with a figure who dared to deconstruct, analyze, and ultimately redefine his field. Forget everything you thought you knew about tradition, because our next story features someone who not only questioned the status quo, but rebuilt it from the ground up using data, science, and relentless self-belief. Prepare to witness the transformation of a sport and meet the man who saw the game differently. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, the 7-Day Mental Fortitude Challenge. What if 7 days could make you bulletproof? Steal confidence strategies from warriors, rebels, and icons who turned panic into power. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/BA. Thanks for watching.